Welcome to the McCoy House Podcast, where healing begins and hope is restored. Based in Jackson, Mississippi, the McCoy House Extended Care for Women offers a sanctuary for nurturing body, mind, and soul. Here, community empowers recovery, and women find strength in one another. Join us as we share stories of resilience, renewal, and the power of healing together.
Good morning, everybody. We are here bright and early this morning on this beautiful, well, I'll say beautiful, but it's a little bit rainy, but it's still a beautiful day. We are here on the McCoy House Podcast. I am your host, Nicole Woods, and we are super excited for our guest today. We have a very important person, I might say, and the first person I ever met at the McCoy House. We have Jordan Butler. She is the Executive Director of the McCoy House. And I just immediately, when I met Jordan, she is a ray of sunshine. I am so excited for us to be talking to her today. And today we have a topic that is very important, not just for the women who are residing at the McCoy House, but I think for every single person here, not just in Mississippi, but around the world. It's about serving your community and how that helps you grow in certain ways. And we're going to talk about community service that the women do. We're going to talk about community service that is done for the McCoy House Podcast and a couple fun things that they do year round and a really exciting event that is coming up very, very soon. Thank you guys for joining us today. And thank you, Jordan, for joining us today. How are you?
I'm great. Happy to be here.
Good. So basically how we like to start this off is super easy. We just kind of talk about your journey to where we are today. So tell me about what got you into this position as the executive director of the McCoy House.
Yeah, well, it's got a cool story. So I've always known of the McCoy House. You know, it's been around for almost 20 years. And I first came to know the McCoy House through Women at McCoy. I started sponsoring women that were in the McCoy House, so I visited the place. I met Denise Marsters actually in my own journey of recovery. She was a part of the team where I was doing my outpatient programming. So I met her there. And then, of course, figured out she was connected to the McCoy House. So again, it was kind of in the periphery for me. Again, just kind of knew about it and I knew her. And I guess this was about 2.5 years ago. I've been working in Jackson in a nonprofit, and there was a group of women who got together doing basically like a women's kind of recovery dinner, right? It was just a group of women who were getting together, and Denise and I happened to be at the same dinner one night. She was in town, and I was at that point kind of looking for my next step, but I'd been putting out some feelers. I had this great job with this organization I was in, but it was one of those things like kind of just looking for the next chapter in my life. And Denise and I kind of got to talking that evening. I think I had shared some about, my job and my interests just in conversation. And she said, we're looking for somebody.
Oh.
And might you be interested in coming on at the McCoy House? And from there, we talked, the conversation began. So we started talking over the next couple months. Of course, she talking with the board and talking with me. And eventually I met the board. And that's kind of how it happened. And so in July of 2024, it's 26, I stepped in as executive director.
Oh, it's almost your anniversary.
It is.
I
It's
love
coming up.
it.
Yeah.
I love it. So how has it changed since you started to now over those 2 years?
So it has been a really incredible journey. I would say that, how has it changed? Well, for me, coming in, I had a lot to learn.
Yeah, I bet.
Right?
Yeah.
So I came in, kind of the first couple months, really. It was just seeing how things worked, right? Like, kind of seeing the day-to-day and how this program worked, gathering just tons of information, looking at, what has been going on, what are the needs, getting immersed in just our programming and our staff and kind of getting to know how everything works. I've been on a pretty steep learning curve, um, which is what I
Which
signed
is,
up for.
yeah,
Yeah,
and that's
it was like,
good.
yeah,
That's
it was
real good.
absolutely, I was ready to kind of flex some new muscles, right?
Yeah, for
And
sure.
I got exactly what I asked for. But it's been great. I went in really ambitious. I was like, oh, in this first year, here's all what's going to happen.
Yep.
And I think that's all like right. Like,
Yeah,
of
of
course, like
course.
could
You
come
have to
in.
have
Um,
goals.
all those things didn't happen in that first year. Um, but again, I work with a great team,
Yeah.
and Denise has, of course, been a guide through all of this. We have an incredible board, and so learning a lot, making some mistakes along the
Yeah.
way, and really just immersing myself in all things McCoy.
What does your day-to-day look like?
So I'm on site Monday through Friday.
Okay.
So our team is there. We meet every morning at 8 a.m., Monday through Thursday, with all of the residents.
Okay.
So part of our structure in our program is we meet all residents, all staff at 8 a.m. in the house.
Every day.
Every day. Well,
Wow.
except for Fridays, because
Okay.
we do a different, we have programming on Fridays, so we
Sure.
don't do it on Fridays. But yeah, we get together every morning. So we're
Wow.
there. That's when we have a meeting called spirituality,
Yeah.
right? So that's a time where, again, all the residents come together. We come together. We read, share, kind of check in, and all of our residents share their daily schedules. So every morning starts out with us getting a sense of what everybody's doing that day.
Mhm.
Of course, we're figuring out some logistics. Who
Yeah.
needs rides? Who's
Gotcha.
got to go where?
Interesting.
Who needs support? That kind of thing. We have a kind of official, if you will, house meeting on Wednesdays. But every day we always are checking in, like any concerns, anything going on. So every day starts that way. So we all start together.
And I'm sure that brings a level of like family to it, for the residents there, for the women
Yeah.
there. It's like they had to kind of drop everything that they've known all of a sudden. And then they're in this, it's a beautiful house and it's a beautiful place, but everything is, they're going through a really tough time. And
Yeah.
to have that, that in the morning, there's going to be somebody there who cares about you, who wants to know what's going on, who's going to help you get through this. And it's just like getting through each day. And I'm sure it does build that like camaraderie, not just between you and your team, but just kind of everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. That's absolutely, the idea behind it. And it gives us a chance. One of the other things, especially in early recovery, um, we all, myself included, had to learn how to structure our day.
Yeah.
And so that's even just the small things such as, looking at my day, going, what's going to go on? We do ask them to essentially plan for every hour,
Yeah.
right? Obviously things change. It's not like, you said you were going to be
Yeah.
reading at 11 and you're not, nothing
How
like
dare
that.
you?
But helping people, our women, fill that time, as constructively as they can. Because it
Meaningfully.
can be a lot, right?
Yeah.
And they do have a lot going on between our programming, which happens on Mondays and Fridays, volunteering at the store,
Yep.
working with their sponsors, going to appointments,
Mhm.
doing their step work, all of those things.
What is programming?
So our programming, we offer as a part of being at the McCoy House. Every Monday, we do art therapy.
Mhm.
So we have a local artist. We have two that we work with right now that come in from 9:30 to 11 on Mondays. So we have an art room,
Yes.
kind of this fun. It's like this room that's just filled with stuff, right?
Fun stuff.
Fun stuff. And so we bring someone in who works with them every Monday, but the art room's available to them all of the time. And we actually right now have a couple women who really love the art room. I mean, it's like most things. Like some people are really into it, some not. But
Yeah.
we have a lot who are that shows up on their daily schedule, like I'm working on this art project.
I love it.
So they're doing that every Monday. And then every Friday, we do yoga on site. And so that happens from 9 to 10, sometimes to 10:30. So both of those happen every week. But we also
Gotcha.
do equine therapy with
Yes.
Tim.
Yes.
That's off site, and we do that once a month. So that's kind of our programming that happens consistently.
And I love that because I'm a horse girl. And so anytime people incorporate equine therapy, I'm just like, good job. Y'all got it. Y'all, because I think
Yeah.
it's just such, I mean, I could talk the rest of this podcast just about equine therapy, but it really is one of those things that I think is great. Not, I teach kids and I've seen kids' behaviors change. We've had veterans out there come out, um, kids with disabilities, all sorts of things, specifically at my barn we had an
Mm.
equine therapist, a licensed one out there for a little bit. But my husband's brother is autistic and he's come out there and it's just cool to see how not just the people are around the horse, but how the horses are around the people. And they have those people, I don't know if people know, they have mirror neurons. And
Mm.
so they'll kind of like if you come in anxious, they're going to feel that and they're going to respond to that. But if you come in calm, cool, and collected, they're going to feel that and respond to that. So it's just kind of like a reflection of your insides, even though you don't want to say it. They
Yeah.
know and they're going to reflect it back to you. So if you're feeling frustrated with the horse, you're like, what do I need to work on internally now?
Yeah.
And so I think that's really cool. And all of those things, is, and this is a great leeway into the actual topic of the podcast is service. All of those things, all of those programs are provided by a service that somebody provides to you guys. So tell me how you get connected with these people and what does that mean for you? I mean, that must be such a big deal to have these people so dedicated to this recovery program.
Yeah, it is. It's a remarkable thing.
Yeah.
Well, I'll start with so even the artists that we work with. I think we found both of these artists. I think 2 years ago. They came on right after I came on. We had a art therapist who we were working with who had to step away. She was making a change in her life. And at the time, we had a different staff person who put out some feelers. And, we are looking for and luckily have found like it's not just bringing someone in, it's someone who also understands like what we're doing,
Right.
right? Understands, why women are there, is sensitive to that.
Yeah.
And we really lucked out to find, two incredible local artists who come in every week and, nurture our women. And
Yeah.
what's really great is even one of them in particular, invites them to other events that
Oh,
she's involved in, right? So
yeah.
it's people who, because, when you meet with someone once a week, you build a
Oh, yeah.
relationship,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
They're both really in tune with, they always ask the women what they want to do, right? So
Yeah.
it's not just like coming in with their own agenda, even though they have their own expertise and mediums that
Of
they work
course.
with. And so, again, having people who are so committed to our program and show up consistently, and they're women, which
Yeah.
is fantastic, um, is just it's just great. It's that it's just such a gift for us.
Yeah.
And same with our yoga instructors. We've had yoga instructors in recovery, which has been great. Right now, our current yoga instructor is not. So it's not, of course, a requirement for
Right.
programming.
We have to be
Um,
understanding
Absolutely.
of the
And
program.
again, we've been so lucky to find, in this case, also our yoga instructors happen to be women um, who just really want to come in and connect. They bring such care to the work that they do.
Mhm.
And like even the yoga instructor that we're working with right now, she's always asking like, can I do an extra class or a workshop? And so this week we're actually doing a restorative class on Friday night. As opposed to Friday morning, they're just
Cool.
so interested in like, how can I bring my skills and my gifts to this place?
Yeah.
And so that's just such a gift for us. And then working with Tim and his wife, Michelle, we've been with them for over a decade. Tim and his wife have been doing this for such a long time. I don't
Mhm.
even know quite how long. Um, and they just work magic. Um, they're such experts in their field. And I myself did equine therapy actually with the
Mhm.
McCoy House, um, God, 8 years ago, I guess it was. And I had no idea what equine therapy was.
Yeah.
I'm not a horse girl.
Yeah.
Like I didn't grow up around them. I, just had no experience with them. And each time that our women go, usually I hear about it either from the staff that go with them or from Monday it'll come out like what happened at Equine.
Yeah.
And like you were saying, those just discoveries, those things that because when I went into it, I was like, oh, so we're riding horses. I
Right.
mean, I had no idea what that all meant.
No, no,
Um,
no.
Not at all. You never even get on a horse.
Right.
And and so again, that's kind of part of our broader community, the people that they connect with through programming who help, get to know them on
Mhm.
some level. Obviously that consistency of meeting with them is just, part of our McCoy family,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and it reduces the isolation again of,
Sure.
like, they get to get
Sure.
out of the house this time
Yeah.
and get to see other people,
Yeah.
and, like we said, it's great that you'll have the morning meetings, but now they get to see their art girl, and
Yeah.
they get to do
Yeah.
yoga, and they get to go see the ponies, and I love that.
Yeah, and they get to like, part of the recovery journey. And we've actually added on some additional programming, if you
Yeah.
will. Um, we try to provide yoga's not for everybody. Equine's not
Yeah,
for
I've never
everybody.
done yoga a day in my life.
Art's not for everybody. And so part of it is that they get exposed,
Yep.
right? They get the opportunity to try something, see if it pique their interest. And one of the other things we've just added, we got a grant through Ergon, and we launched a health and wellness program. And one of the components that we just started, I think we've just finished a month. I mean, this is brand new.
Yeah.
We added a cooking component. Yeah.
Fun.
And what we're piloting, and it seems to be going really well, we order meal kits, so
Yes.
like the mail-in meal kits. And we order enough so that it's because you can do for like 4 people, 6 people, 8 people. So we get 2 dinners that get delivered every week. The girls get to pick because I've done a meal kit once before, but they
Mhm.
give you a list of things. You pick what
Yep.
you want for that week, and they get to cook a community meal together. And again, because all of our girls have different schedules, and we were like, how is this going to work? So we're again kind of feeling it out,
Yeah.
and what happens is usually 2 of them, maybe all of them. It kind of, again, depends on
Yeah.
like, because a lot of them are in IOP at night, again,
Right.
with all the schedules going on, but they make dinner. And I always ask them to like send me a photo of the
Yeah.
meal, partly because I just also love food and
Yeah.
I love cooking.
Same.
And the idea behind it was to, of course, bring in a great meal, expose them to maybe some new ingredients, get
Yeah.
them cooking, get them being together, again, adding that like
Yeah.
community element, and just enjoying a meal together, right?
Yeah.
So that's been something we've added. That's, I guess you could call programming.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
again just another thing we're offering to, help them find another experience, right? Like we're all in this journey of recovery, learning new skills, figuring out what we're
Right.
actually interested in, finding new ways to kind of channel our energy. And so I know for me personally, like cooking is a big part of my life. And
Yeah.
I got into before I got sober, but really kind of delved into afterwards. So that may be something some of them,
Absolutely.
take take on.
There's nothing like eating, with your people around a table and cooking for them, and I'm the same way, like, I love cooking for my friends and my family, and just, like, seeing everybody at the end of the night enjoying everything, I'm like, "Oh, this is nice," and all of these skills are things that they can take beyond. the McCoy House.
Sure.
And that's the best part is there is nothing that you're giving them that they can't be like, okay, I'm going to continue this. And this is going to be a part of my ongoing recovery. Cause, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. Recovery is forever,
Mm.
recovery continues on throughout your life and you're always kind of in recovery once you've gone through that process. Am I correct in
Sure.
saying that?
Yeah.
So that's something that you can kind of hold on to and be like, this is my thing. This is what I enjoy, whether it's the art or the horses or the cooking or the yoga. It's all tangible and it's all, for the most part, fairly easy to find around here. Yoga you can do by yourself. Horses, I mean, that's probably the toughest one
Yeah,
is the
for
horses
sure.
one. But, there's plenty of places out around that are very willing to be like, yeah, just come on out and brush our horses. And that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, it's just part of that journey of just self-discovery, right?
Exactly.
Figuring out who I am and what interests me. And again, whether it's, getting in touch with like, your physical self or the way you
Yeah.
take care of yourself or your spiritual self, finding those ways that, to just re-engage in a different way.
It's also important.
Yeah.
It's also important. And that's ways that, people, and over the years, there's been countless people that have contributed to the McCoy House,
Yes.
not just through their time and programming and stuff, but financially, donations. We could, there's probably hundreds, if not thousands of people that we could give their flowers to. And, each and every single one of them is so important. Um, And then there's also the aspect of the residents, the women, giving out service. So we had Hallie on last time and we talked about the thrift store. And we don't have to kind of go into the whole thing, but that's the way that the women kind of, while they're at the McCoy House, is give out service. They're volunteering at the thrift store. Is that, how have you seen that kind of change? Not them personally, but does that kind of contribute to how does that contribute to the recovery
Yeah,
process?
in a lot of ways. So, like you said, the McCoy House has been built and sustained
Mhm.
by a vast community,
Mhm.
right?
Absolutely.
We have incredible donors and supporters and people who are, oh, how can I help? What can I
Always.
do? What do y'all need? And the thrift store, like you said, is our outward facing component, right?
Mhm.
Obviously, our house itself is private. Um, but the thrift store and the women volunteering in the thrift store is a way for, yes, them to stay engaged, and I say stay busy, right? It's another component of just like structure. You've
Right.
got to be somewhere on time. You've got to be, accountable to that. You got to work with a group. Of course, like most things, some people love the thrift store. Some people it's not for them, but you're accountable to it, right? You show
100%.
up and you do your job. And the thrift store is, we always say, our 365-day a year fundraiser. It is part of what keeps our nonprofit running. It is part of how people connect to the McCoy House. Again, when people call me and ask, "How can I help? What can I
Yeah.
do?" Um, our thrift store is a great way to get engaged in that. So we also, even outside, of course, our residents and our staff have a host of volunteers. The thrift store started out just run by volunteers, and
Right.
we still have volunteers who come and help keep that running. And our women, again, they're there. They're working with mostly other women in community or in recovery, I'd say.
Mhm.
So not everyone's in recovery. But most are.
Mm.
And so yeah, they're there working, helping keeping everything running,
Yeah.
and it's when you said like how have I seen that, help them, it's
Through the
just
recovery
it's how they
process.
stay engaged. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you know, just another way to give back. And sometimes, our women come on as staff. They can after 90 days apply for a job. Some of them do. Again, some of them that's not their thing.
Mhm.
So it's another way that they can again stay engaged, keep giving back, and get a job.
Do you ever see any resistance with any of the programs? and how do you
Yeah.
overcome that?
Yeah. So for sure, right? A lot of times, we, and I wouldn't say, I mean, most people on the whole, we've had, I'm trying to think of like, I'm like kind of scrolling back, thinking about an example. So, for sure, there are some people who are like, art's not really my thing,
Yeah.
or don't really feel up to yoga, or I've never done it and I'm intimidated, or,
Mhm.
different things have come out. We did have someone who was allergic to horses. And of course we were like, okay, you don't have to do
That's fair.
equine.
That's
That was
fair.
not resistance. That was um, and the way we even with the store, again, luckily, there's not been many that are
Yeah.
like, I'm not interested in doing this, but it's part of their commitment.
Yep.
When you commit to McCoy, and we're very clear about this on the outset, you're committing to the whole thing. You're committing to programming, you're committing to step work, you're committing to all of the things that are a part of our program. And so that's really that's where the conversation goes, is because that's part of what we're also relearning, right? Is follow through and
Yep.
accountability and staying committed to having an open mind. So even if it's like I'm thinking about, we had a resident who physically found yoga, pretty intimidating,
Yeah,
right? I
it
mean,
is.
it's new, and again, physically, she kind of felt like she wasn't either up for it. Again, it was just intimidating,
It is, yeah.
right? And that's where we also kind of back to these amazing people who run our programming, know how to meet our residents where they are. And so I know in sending someone, whether it's into the store or into a yoga class or into an art class, that's where having such amazing people as a part of our programming, I think, meet our residents where they are.
I love it.
So they can modify, like even in the, I get feedback from all of our residents.
Yeah.
Because we want to know what their experience was like. So we sit down anytime someone's moving out and ask like a host of questions.
Okay.
And in the event of like yoga, one of the things that I've heard, two people come to mind, but like the one I was mentioning about, feeling really intimidated by
Mhm.
it, after she stuck with it,
Yeah.
and she was with us for, I think, 9 months. But after sticking with it for a while, one of the things she said was, I discovered something new,
Yeah.
right? And I discovered what I was able to do, and that it wasn't just about, I think it broke down her conception of like
Mhm.
yoga, right? I think she also had this preconceived notion of like what yoga was like. And through a really talented and compassionate instructor, like she was able, so we meet it with, you've made a commitment and you
Right.
have to follow through on your commitment. But they're also met with, I think, a lot of compassion and support, with that resistance if, that
Yeah.
comes up,
Makes
right?
all the
Like,
difference.
yeah.
Makes all the difference, and I mean, I'm the same way. I'm like, "Oh, yoga's for the Cali girls," and I'm just
Right. Yeah.
like, I'm not that, but I mean, I wanna say I may have done it once in college with, like, one of those free classes, and it's always something that I know how helpful it is, physically and mentally, it's about not just doing the yoga, it's not just an exercise, it's about clearing your mind, and there's so many spiritual aspects to it too. And with all of the programs that you guys have, there's spirituality in art, and there's spirituality in cooking and yoga and horses, and there's physicality in cooking and art and horses and yoga, and there's all these different aspects, and it's like you do through all or one of these things, like, I can do this, and once you realize I
Mhm.
can do this, then you can take that
Mhm.
into any other
And
aspect.
Denise and I were talking about this, not specifically, but she reminded me of something. We were having a conversation. I think it was yesterday actually. And she was reminding me, part of what's happening with all of us in this journey is that we're building new neural pathways.
Yes.
And so we do that through, like you were describing, all of those things, um, through doing new things physically, new experiences, consistency and routine and committing to something and following through. And again, building these new habits and changing the way that we think and approach the world.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. We do have a comment from Denise Beecham. Living life one day at a time. Just celebrated 11 years clean and sober only with the help of other alcoholics/addicts. My sponsor and God. I love Denise. She helped me tremendously with my PTSD and trauma at my last treatment facility. So if you guys are watching live, you can comment. You can ask any questions you have. That's part of why we love doing these lives, is that it's just fun to interact with the people watching. And I think every single episode we've done, we've got a comment just like that. Is, thank you for XYZ. Thank you to the McCoy House. Thank you to whoever's speaking. Thank you to Denise. Thank you to whatever it is I've been one to, 11 years is such a long time. And to just stay dedicated to that is so impressive. And I love reading the comments like that. And so we talked about community and service coming in. We talked about community and service going out. And we can kind of start talking about, y'all put on such awesome events every year. And that's part of the service, is it's another outward way of showing not just gratitude, but, raising funds, showing the women that I'm sure they volunteer for the events as well. I don't know. I'm asking.
Yes.
Okay.
So, they do. We're putting on a new event.
Yes.
Right. And so we're,
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. We, next Friday, May 8th, we have the first annual McCoy House Recovery Classic. It is a golf tournament at Live Oaks. And let's pray for good weather. Let's get all the rain out this week.
Yes.
Let's get it all out. And speaking of community, we have had such an incredible outpouring of support for this event. We have teams flying in from out of state, from other treatment centers and other people who are connected to the McCoy House in various ways. We have tons of people, of course, also from right here in the city. Yep. We've had an outpouring of support with sponsorship, we shout out to David Barber and his group, Nexus, people who he's doing all of our signage.
Nice.
People who are like, let me help. What can we do? Nevada Bob's gave us some discount on we got these really nice printed golf balls. I mean, people who are, helping us put this on. Live Oaks, who's hosting the event. They have just been incredible. And it's gonna be so fun. I know I said this, I was here in the studio this weekend.
Yeah.
I don't know a thing about golf.
Me neither.
And I'm learning a lot. We have a golf committee who is educating me each time we meet. I'm like, how many holes are there? What does this mean? What's a mulligan? I don't know. But we, so far, we have 22 teams signed up, right?
Wow.
We still have room for more. So if anyone's interested, definitely go to our website, email me, text me, however you need to get into contact with me. But again, it's just this huge community effort coming. Our board has chipped in. We're super excited.
And y'all have some awesome prizes too that have been and I had to read them off last time. And I remember every time I think about the event, I'm like, Patty Pack is giving a car. You can win a freaking vehicle.
Yes, you can. You absolutely can. So we have, Patty Peck, again, people in the community stepping up and being like, yes, we want to support this. Patty Peck has I think it's a Honda CRV Sport, but don't quote me on that. It's a car.
Yeah.
And
I know it's an SUV.
It's an SUV.
Yep.
Pretty sure. And you can win that car if you make a hole in one.
Right.
On this certain hole. I forget which hole it is. So that car will be out there. We have a weekend stay available. That's our first place prize. Donated again by some people on our committee.
Yep. In Gulf Shores.
It's on a golf course too. Yeah, and it's huge. It's a 4-bedroom. Yeah, awesome.
Yep.
Second, are you looking at
I'm
it?
looking at
Yeah.
it, 'cause just in case, because
Yeah,
I
I was
always
gonna say,
because it's
read it
so
off
much.
accurately.
It's so much. So the first prize, the hole-in-one is a new Honda from Patty Peck,
Yep.
and then the grand prizes are 4 days, 3 nights at Gulf Shores Beach House, plus 4 rounds of golf at Kiva Dunes and Peninsula. Second prize is golf equipment, which is a $2,500 value, which, I mean, if you play golf, if you're a golfer, that's a good set.
Yeah.
That's going to be something you're very happy with. Who donated? Do you know who donated that?
Nevada Buffs.
Okay.
Or yes.
And then third place is a Kessler Prime gift card of $1,000, which will,
Dang, look at
I know, I think Daniel said the same thing. He really likes Kessler Prime, I guess. But yeah, if you guys are still wanting to sign up, that's on May 8th, next Friday at the Live Oaks Golf Club. That's in Jackson. Are people allowed to kind of just show up, or do you?
So, yeah, that's a good question. So we
Yeah.
have a number of volunteers that are coming. And again, full disclosure, I've never been to a golf tournament before, but I will tell you, we are hoping for great weather, and we are absolutely open to, people coming out. I mean, I'm going to be there all day.
Yeah.
I'm not golfing.
Just come talk and hang
yeah.
out with me.
So like the golf course opens at 7:30, and I would just send an email out to all the players yesterday. Because one of the things I've also learned is people like to warm up. That's a thing.
Oh,
So
yeah, I
we've got
guess it is
folks
a
coming early. We're
sport.
serving breakfast and coffee. We are, again, like there's going to be registration. Obviously, then the golf tournament starts.
Mhm.
It's a 4-person scramble. And so that will kick off. But yeah, if people want to come hang out, of course they can. Bring a
Yay.
chair.
Come watch.
Yeah, the golf course is beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
I again don't have a lot of golf courses to compare it to. Don't need to. They have just put a ton of work into Live Oaks. They've just totally redone like the clubhouse and the restaurant. It is stunning. There are places to sit. They even have a pool out there.
No, good to know.
You could come and just hang out by the pool if you
Yeah.
wanted to.
Just
But absolutely, yeah.
Good.
It's going to be, of course, an alcohol-free event.
Yep.
We've got so many fun people, women and men playing.
good.
I've gotten that question a
Good,
lot. They're
good.
like, "Oh, can women play?" I'm like, "Are you
What are you
kidding?"
talking about?
We highly encourage. We expect.
Please.
So yeah, it's going to be. We're of course there'll be plenty of food. We're going to do a light dinner, barbecue dinner.
Yeah.
As soon as everyone finishes, we also have tons of door prizes.
Good.
So every
Okay.
player gets a ticket, but we'll also be selling them.
Okay.
So yeah,
Yeah, come on out, everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it. Denise Marsters, she just commented, awesome job. We are so happy, proud, and grateful for all the help and support we get from our community, staff, and volunteers. Jordan, you are doing an amazing job, and your passion for helping people heal is incredible.
Thanks, Denise.
Yes, Denise is so sweet. Her episode was so much fun, and I
Yes.
love her story so much. It is just so cool in general to hear from her. I'm not texting and driving. I pulled over to share this. I guess she's on
her
the
way
somewhere.
to Kentucky right now.
Okay.
She has been traveling all over. She is headed to Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, meeting with the Bridge to Recovery.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, so that's why she
Okay,
said
good.
that. Yeah, she's
Good girl. Don't text and drive.
Yeah.
So we also have we have a few big events a year. This is
Yeah.
the first time we've done the Recovery Classic, and I'm
Yep.
sure the way this is going, that's going to be an annual thing.
That's the
and
plan.
I love it, and I think that's going to be hugely successful. And then tell me about a couple other things that y'all
Yes.
do.
So we also have our other annual fundraiser, Rock for Recovery.
Yep.
It's every October, and I should have looked at the date. We already have the date set. It's
I can find
always
it while you're talking about
yeah.
it.
I think it's October 15th this year. Always falls around the same time,
Yeah, it's around fall.
and it's at Dueling Hall. Lukenbach plays. It's a Willie Nelson cover band.
Fun.
We have an incredible silent auction and food, and it's a really fun community recovery event. We always have some definite Willie Nelson fans who show up. I mean, Lukenbach is super fun. But we also encourage, of course, just people from the recovery community to come out and eat. And, of course, bid on the silent auction.
Yeah.
We have great prizes for that. But it's just, music, fun, recovery, community.
I love it. That's
Yeah.
on October 15th.
Okay, I had it right.
Yep,
Great.
it's a Thursday, October 15th. That's Rock for Recovery. And if anybody ever wants to see what kind of events are coming up, the easiest way to do it is go into this awesome website, that is brand new website that we have now. It looks so good. And you just kind of go and you find the events page and you scroll down and just see all the events coming up. So there's always something fun. If you want to follow the McCoy House on Facebook, Instagram, we can do that. There's also a newsletter that goes out.
Yep.
So there's a bunch of different ways to kind of stay connected and make sure that you're on top of things. And we got a few more minutes left. Let's round it out. Is there anything that you would like to share that I may not have thought to ask you?
Man.
Or anything else that we should bring up before we kind of round it out?
What a great question. And I'm like, yes.
All
How
the
much more time do we
things.
have? I'll just tell you, the McCoy House is such a, magical place.
Mhm.
And I say that, I just the other day was telling the women in spirituality, and I always say this to people who are interested in the McCoy House, there's so many things available to people in recovery in that continuum of care. Treatment has its place and sober living has its place and our program has its place. And, we're just a part of this, spectrum of care to provide support for, people who are, interested in recovery and needing our level of support.
Mm-hmm.
And I was telling the women, every now, I get busy, right?
Yeah.
I'm balancing a budget or I'm, sending out the emails or dealing with right? All the things that are so necessary for our operation, right? And I really try to do my best to, stay present and take pause of this amazing place that has been built by all of our residents and amazing staff over the years, that we have such this incredible thing. It's such a gift to be able to see women on this journey on a daily basis.
Yeah.
It is, like you said, it is really hard work.
Mhm.
No one's dream is to come live at the McCoy House, right?
Right. You're there, because you're kind of at your
right.
wit's end.
But the women that come because they're looking for something different. And, I was looking for something different when I got sober. And it is, when I stop, which I should do more often. But when I do, and I think about this place again that has been built by the incredible women before me, residents and staff, and that is uplifted by the incredible staff and residents we have now and this community,
Mhm.
it is such a gift to be there.
It is.
Yeah, for me. And I hope for, of course, all the women that are there. So such a gift.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're going to continue keeping on. Hopefully the McCoy House sticks around for many, 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 many years longer. And we've had somebody in this studio this entire time. Can I bring her up on the couch?
Of course you can.
Dan got an angle. This is Lottie. This is Jordan's Lottie.
Lottie comes to work every day.
Come here. You want to help me close it out? Come here. Come on. Good girl. You're so well behaved. All right, let's sit and we're going to close it out together. Lottie, you ready? Whoever comes in next, I'm so sorry. We'll disinfect it before you come in. All right, everybody. Thank you guys for joining us today. We were here with Jordan Butler, the Executive Director of the McCoy House. I'm Nicole Woods. This is the McCoy House Podcast. If you guys would like to follow us, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram. Go to our website, themccoyhouse.com. Look at all the events. Please come to the event next Friday, the Golf Classic. Is there anything else you would like to say? No?
No.
Will Lottie be there? on
No,
Friday?
no golf tournament for Lottie.
Oh no. Well, she is also featured on some posts. That's very close, Dan. Thank you everybody for joining us today. We hope you have a wonderful Wednesday, and we will see you again next time.